Hey guys, this is on leukemia, and bear with me because there's a lot of information. So, leukemia is caused by a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Leukemia is formed in the body's tissue that makes blood such as bone marrow and lymphatic system, including red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. White blood cells in the healthy individual grow and divide in a systematic way as your body needs to fight off infection. However, leukemia causes the bone marrow to produce an abnormal amount of white blood cells that do not function properly. Overall, leukemia occurs when blood cells develop mutations in their DNA. Certain abnormalities cause the cell to grow and divide more rapidly to continue living when normal cells would die. This eventually leads to the abnormal cells crowding out the healthy blood cells and diminishing healthy white blood cells and the body's ability to fight off any infection, which causes the signs and symptoms of leukemia. Leukemia is classified on two things, based on the speed of progression, and the cells involved. Type 1 is the first classification, which is determined how fast the leukemia progresses. First, you have acute leukemia, which multiplies rapidly and cannot carry out normal function and causes the disease to worsen quickly, which requires more aggressive treatment. Then you have chronic leukemia and has more types, some producing too many cells and some causing too few cells to be produced. Chronic leukemia affects more mature blood cells, which occurs at a slower pace and causes the symptoms to go unnoticed or undiagnosed for years. The second classification is determined by which type of white blood cells are affected. You have lymphatic leukemia, which affects the lymphoid cells and make up the immune system, or you have myeloid leukemia, which affects myeloid cells and which forms all three of the types of cells, which is red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Okay, the statistics of leukemia. All this information is from the CDC, and the most updated numbers available is from 2014. So, you have 47,135 people diagnosed with leukemia, and of that, 27,000 men and 19,000 women. The people who died from leukemia of that number is 23,564. 13,000 men of that, and 10,000 of that number is women. The demographics include white men being the highest rate at 17.5%, followed by black men at 13%, Hispanic at 12.3%, Asian Pacific Islander at 9.4%, and American Indian of 9.2%. On the other end of that with women, you also have white women at the highest, followed by Hispanic at 8.9%, black at 8.4%, Asian Pacific Islander at 6.2%, and lastly American Indian at 5.3%. There's 4 types of leukemia. You have acute lymphoblastic or lymphocytic, ALL, acute myeloid, AML, chronic lymphatic leukemia, and ACLL, and chronic myeloid, which is CML. The first type is acute lymphatic leukemia. It's caused when bone marrow cells develop errors in its DNA. This occurs in blood and bone marrow, affecting white blood cells called lymphocytes. This progresses rapidly, creating immature blood cells at a higher rate than the body can create the healthy ones. ALL is the most common type of cancer in children, and treatments result in a good chances to be cured. However, when this type of cancer occurs in adults, their chances of cure are greatly reduced. In adult acute lymphocytic leukemia, which is ALL, symptoms can look a lot like the flu: fever, fatigue, overall decrease in energy, and shortness of breath. However, more symptoms include frequent infections, bone pain, bleeding from gums, pale skin, lumps caused by swollen lymph nodes in and around the neck, underarm, abdomen, and groin areas, as well as frequent or severe nosebleeds. Some risk factors for adults that increase the chances of developing it is previous exposure to chemo or radiation, being a white male over the age of 70, having certain genetic disorders such as Down syndrome. Specific testing for adults when diagnosing this is a physical exam and history, blood samples, and with the blood samples, they're checking for the number of red blood cells, platelets, number and type of white blood cells, the amount of hemoglobin, and the portion and sample that's made up of the blood cells, as well as bone marrow aspiration and a biopsy. Once the biopsy is performed, a process called immunophenotyping is conducted to diagnose the subtype of ALL by comparing the cancer cells to the normal cells in the immune system. Prognosis and treatment of adult ALL are affected by the following factors: age, whether the cancer is spread to the brain or spinal cord, which is detected by lumbar puncture, whether there are certain changes in the genes, including Philadelphia chromosome, and whether the cancer has been treated or has come back. Pediatric ALL, the same signs and symptoms for childhood are there that are in the adult ALL. However, also bruising easily and fever are most common in the childhood. So they also have weakness, feeling tired, looking pale, and loss of appetite. Other possible risk factors for childhood ALL are certain genetic disorders such as Down syndrome, Bloom syndrome, and Fanconi anemia. There are other ones as well that are also on the American Cancer Society website. Also, a constitutional mismatch repair deficiency, which is mutations in certain genes that stop DNA from being able to repair itself, and it leads to growth of cancers at an early age. The same tests that are done to diagnose adult ALL are also done to diagnose childhood ALL. Once the blood, bone marrow tissue is removed through a biopsy, certain testing is done, such as a cytogenetic analysis, which looks for certain changes in the chromosomes or lymphocytes. During this test, they find out if the Philadelphia chromosome is present, and if it is, then the child's automatically positive for ALL. The Philadelphia chromosome is where part of chromosome 9 switches with part of chromosome 22. Immunophenotyping was also described previously and is also conducted to the tissues retrieved by the biopsy. Prognosis and treatment for childhood ALL depend on various situations, such as how quickly and how low the leukemia cell count drops after the first month of treatment, the number of white blood cells in the blood at the same time of diagnosis, whether leukemia cells begin from a B lymphocyte or a T lymphocyte, whether the child has Down syndrome, whether leukemia cells are found in the CSF, and the child's weight at the time of diagnosis and during treatment. According to the American Cancer Society, the main treatment for ALL is a long-term regimen of chemotherapy lasting up to 2 years and broken up into 3 phases. Phase 1 is the induction phase, getting the cancer to remission by killing the cells that are involved. Phase 2 is consolidation, also known as intensification, keeping it in remission and making sure it doesn't spread to the brain or spinal cord, where high doses of chemo are administered over approximately 3 months. Phase 3 is maintenance, which lasts up to 2 years, a lower dose of chemotherapy administered to prevent the cancer from turning into a different type and or spreading to other parts of the body. Other treatment consists of target therapy, which is usually used in patients who have the Philadelphia chromosome. That is used to keep ALL from coming back. In general, about 80 to 90% of adults will have complete remission at some point during treatment, meaning leukemia cells are no longer detected in the bone marrow. However, about half of these patients relapse, making the overall cure rate approximately 40% for ALL. If ALL is untreated at all, the patient's prognosis will result in death. Next is acute myeloid leukemia, also known as AML. This is the most common type of cancer in adults, and it's caused by damage to the DNA of developing cells in the bone marrow, causing blood cell production to go wrong. AML is caused when the bone marrow produces immature cells that develop into the leukemic white blood cells called myoblasts, which build up fast and crowd out healthy white blood cells. Different subtypes of AML are determined based on how mature the cancer cells are at the time of diagnosis and how different they form from normal cells. Risk factors for AML include being male, smoking, especially after the age of 60, received chemoradiation previously, treatment of childhood ALL in the past, being exposed to radiation from an atomic bomb or the chemical benzene, having a history of the blood disorder such as myelodysplastic syndrome. The same symptoms for ALL are included in AML as well as testing for diagnosis. Risk factors for the children to develop AML include having a sibling, especially a twin with leukemia, being Hispanic, being exposed to cigarette smoke or alcohol before birth, having personal history with aplastic anemia, having personal history with MDS, and having a family history of AML. Past treatment with chemo, being exposed to radiation, and having a certain genetic disorder such as Down syndrome. Factors that help determine the prognosis and treatment including age, which subtype of AML, whether the patient has received chemo in the past, history of a blood disorder, whether the cancer has spread to the central nervous system, and whether the cancer has been treated before or recurred. Typical treatment for AML is divided into chemotherapy phases. You have induction and consolidation as described earlier in the treatment. And once the diagnosis of AML is determined, treatment usually needs to start quickly and is aggressive because of how fast AML can spread. In patients younger than 60, roughly 70 to 80% will go into full remission. However, patients older than 60 are unable to go into remission because they cannot handle the aggressiveness of the treatment. Next is chronic lymphocytic leukemia. CLL is a blood bone marrow disease that gets worse slowly after occurring during or after middle age and rarely occurring in children. With CLL, there's too many blood stem cells become abnormal lymphocytes and not enough healthy white blood cells. As the number of lymphocytes increase, the number of healthy white blood cells decrease, which causes leukemia. Because CLL is slow occurring, it does not have any signs or symptoms and is usually found during routine blood tests. Symptoms that could be caused by CLL could also be caused by other conditions as well, include painless swelling of lymph nodes, feeling very tired, fullness below the ribs, fever and infection, also weight loss for no known reason. Testing that is completed to diagnose CLL include the same tests listed in other forms of leukemia, with also added FISH, fluorescence in situ hybridization, which is a lab technique using fluorescent dye to identify markers of specific DNA, flow cytometry, which measures the number of cells in the sample and various characteristics of each cell. Also, IGVH mutation test is done, and it's done on bone marrow or blood samples to check for this IGVH gene mutation. Patients that have this gene mutation have a better prognosis. Once the diagnosis is determined, prognosis and testing are determined. And the specific factors that affect this are stage of disease, red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelet blood counts, whether there are signs and symptoms such as fever, chills, and weight loss, whether the spleen, liver, or lymph nodes are larger than normal at the response of initial treatment, and whether CLL has recurred. Prognosis depends on whether there is a change in the DNA and the type of change. If so, whether the lymphocytes are spread throughout the bone marrow, the stage of disease, and whether CLL gets better with treatment or has recurred. Chemotherapy is the main option for treating CLL. However, many types of chemotherapy are used. The above list is used to determine which type of chemo works best for each patient. Many people live a long time with CLL, but in general, it is very difficult to cure. Early treatment has not been shown to help people live longer, and because of this, doctors usually don't recommend treatment for CLL until the symptoms become a hindrance in everyday life. If CLL goes untreated, the patient will not survive. Finally is chronic myeloid leukemia. This is where too many blood stem cells become a type of white blood cell called granulocytes, which are abnormal and do not become healthy white blood cells. Signs and symptoms usually have no symptoms at all, but if they do occur, the following symptoms are possible: feeling very tired, weight loss for no known reason, night sweats, fever, pain or fullness below the ribs on the left side. Most people that are positive for CML have the gene mutation of Philadelphia chromosome. This is again where chromosome 9 switches with part of chromosome 22. Part of chromosome 9 switches with part of chromosome 22. When diagnosing CML, all the same tests are conducted that are ran for the other three types, as well as RT-PCR, which is reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. This is a lab test in which chemicals are used to study the changes in the structure of the function in genes. Specific factors that affect prognosis and treatment options are age, phase of CML, the amount of blasts in the blood or bone marrow, the size of the spleen at diagnosis, and the patient's general health. Treatment of CML is targeted therapy drugs, are the main treatment for CML. There are 3 phases of CML, and depending on which phase the patient is in determines which drugs are used. The first phase of CML are about 70% of people who are treated in this phase go into remission. If the CML progresses to the second phase, accelerated phase, their chances of survival are cut in half, and more intense drugs are used to help the person return to the chronic phase, where they have a higher chance of remission and survival. The third and final phase of CML is the blast phase, where leukemia cells have become completely normal, causing the disease to act like an acute leukemia, with blood counts getting higher and symptoms becoming more severe. Because most patients in the blast phase of CML cannot be cured, palliative treatment is involved to help relieve symptoms and pain, as well as radiation therapy to help shrink an enlarged spleen or reduce pain from areas of bone damaged by leukemia. Like the other 3 types, if a patient goes untreated from CML, they will not survive. References. And don't forget, September is Leukemia Awareness Month.